Before we move into not so great, I'm going to call an audible here and ask you, Jocelyn, how do you feel about the great Akazam Zarak? This is the hero power, 2 gold, to discover a secret and put it into the battlefield. Because...
absolutely terrible.
Okay,
I've never seen this work out ever.
I think his Akazam Zarak is kind of crap too, but I had so many people go to bat for Akazam Zarak on Twitter today because I was trying to find a definitive list of Akazam Zarak's secrets. You're going to be discovering, so you're going to see 3 at a time. And I heard some cool stories, but they all sound like high rolls to me. Like, oh, Ice Block won me a game. And I'm like, that's rad. I feel like you can't really count on that, though. Because, like, you're not guaranteed to discover an Ice Block or be in a situation where that's going to help you. I was going to put him down in not so great, and we didn't really have much time to talk before the show today. So I was kind of curious where you're going at, because Twitter made me like double think this for a second, because I had so many people were like, oh my God, I've had the best games with Akazam Zarak. And
well, I feel like there are some very good ones here. Like Avenge, not terrible, but the thing that you have to remember is that these take place, these buffs, in the combat phase, which means they don't persist. So if you have Avenge, you get that in one combat phase, and then that buff is gone. And also your secrets go away, right? Like once they pop, you don't get them every round.
Yeah,
so,
it would be busted otherwise.
Yeah. So, I mean, Venom Strike to get the poisonous is good. Ice Block, probably good. Possibly Redemption, good. But again, like where these only go off in one set of combat, that's where I start to think that they're just not that great. Like Venom Strike, you might want later game to try to combat those high health demons. Ice Block, obviously, you only have to roll it once and it's going to be good because it'll buy you an extra round and maybe a tournament win. But I don't know. It's not the most random ever, right? It's 9 secrets and it's a discover. It's not, push the button and just get a secret, right? So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence, but I have not seen him work. I've not seen him win. I have not chosen him because he seems like garbage compared to the other choices I had. So yeah.
Yeah, where
I'm not a fan.
Where I was looking originally at heroes like Dancing Daryl and Yogg-Saron, going, oh, this is too random. I don't think it's good enough. I was definitely wrong, but to me, I think Akazam Zarak is the example of too inconsistent to bet on. Again, there's still definitely heroes I would take, or I would take Akazam Zarak over, but not that many for me personally. So we're gonna stick that. We're gonna keep Akazam Zarak in the not so great category and move on to Bartend-O-Tron. Bartend-O-Tron's passive hero power reduces the cost of tavern tiers by 1. It's just not the most impactful hero power in the world. You can try and go for a greedy strategy of getting high tiers sooner, but Patchwork is just a million times better than that, in my opinion. Because you still end with more health than anyone else in the game, even after just getting smacked in the face for 4 turns in a row as Patchwork than you do as Bartend-O-Tron.
Yeah, I think he's still a solid pick. Like I might have moved him up into the good instead of the not so great. He's definitely on that kind of borderline, because I feel like if you want to go for that like late game greedy, get to the taverns earlier, then he's a solid pick if you aren't offered Patchwork. I totally agree with what you're saying about Patchwork just being objectively better, but you don't always have that choice. So I think depending on who he's up against, I think Bartend-O-Tron is the one that I would choose more often than anyone else in like this tier and below.
I would pick him over Akazam Zarak.
Yeah. And I would also pick him over the Pyramid Dude and Queen Wagtoggle for sure. I would
pick him over every hero we're about to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I feel like maybe he needs to be up with the other guys in the good category, where we were talking about, how they are not the best choices, but they have their own unique ways to play. And if you make good decisions with them, they can be powerful. And I feel like that's kind of where Bartend-O-Tron lands. So I'm on the fence about him, whether he belongs in good or not so great. But I mean, really, you're splitting hairs at that point. He's okay. He's okay.
Let's move on to Queen Wagtoggle, who I think I would also put in the not so great category.
Yeah, she's not so great.
1 gold hero power. Give a random friendly mech, demon, murloc, and beast +1 health. Really, to me, this just comes down to +1 health is just not that impactful.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the later into the game you go, health is less impactful, and you're not going to get those 4 buffs probably, right? Like you're going to probably go down 1 tribal route, maybe 2. So then the later on in the game you're going, the health isn't worth as much, and also you're only going to get it to hit 1 or 2 minions as opposed to 4. So the later in the game it goes, the worse it gets. I've
had some pretty successful games where I've gone kind of agnostic. And I think Wagtoggle would be decent. You've gone
the menagerie build.
Is that what people are calling it?
I think I saw that somewhere. There was like the menagerie or the, there was another word for it. Anyways, yeah, but the a little bit of everything build.
Yeah, sometimes it's just kind of where you end up going. But yeah, and so Wagtoggle is good in that way. It's just at the end of the day, like +1 health, it's just not that good. It's not that important.
I mean, I do love her earrings though.
Yeah.
The little lantern earrings are amazing.
and also like Pyramad, who I'm going to put in this exact same category of not so good. Here, 1 gold hero power, give a random friendly minion +2 health. So it has no limitations. You're just paying 1 gold for 2 health. And I also think this hero is bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, this hero is just strictly worse, right? Because for 1 gold, Queen Wagtoggle can get up to 4 health, right? And he always just gets 2 health on 1 dude.
Health isn't worth that much, and you could get +2 health on a non-tribe minion, which some do exist.
Yes, some exist, but I mean, yeah.
It's not all tribes.
I think he's just strictly worse.
I just think they both aren't great, and
they're both terrible.
And I cuss at my monitor
the most terrible
when I have no other options. So I think we're kind of just splitting hairs here. So I don't really have much to say about Wagtoggle or Pyramad. They're bland and unimpactful. And then I'm calling this a void. A void. I have a lot of tiers in my tier system, Jocelyn.
You do.
So not so great.
There's even more after this.
I'm going to kick this off with Professor Putricide. 1 gold hero power at the start of your next combat. Give your leftmost minion +10 attack. I've
never seen this work out because it's pretty good at the beginning because you can kind of, with your first attack, you're going to essentially kill whatever it runs into. However, I found that most people from the get-go have some sort of Voidwalker, homunculus, like some sort of little cheapy taunt that they've put up to help build their strategy behind. So this is always going to be your very first attack is going to kill whatever it hits. And your opponent has probably set their board up in a way that they don't mind losing something like that early game. So I feel like when he's best in early game and doesn't really get better as the game goes on, and it's so easy to combat a big attack minion as the first attack, right? So
yeah. The reason so many of us have a hard time getting a triple Annoyotron is because so many of us grab a single Annoyotron just to kind of protect our life in the early to mid game.
Exactly.
And so Annoyotron just completely renders Rage Potion null and void. And chat room, you're not wrong. Yeah, it's not too bad on Cleave, but
that's a very specific set of minions that I don't always see. It's the Hydra thing, right?
You have 2. You have Hydra and Reaper. 4,000 is a 6-star minion,
right. and the Hydra is a 4.
It's not guaranteed.
Yeah,
it's a lot. You're leaving a lot up to chance. So that's for that reason I avoid Putricide like the plague. See what I did there?
Yeah.
I'm also going to put, we can honestly probably talk about these two in tandem. Ragnaros the Fire Lord, 2 gold hero power at the start of next combat, deal 8 damage to 2 random enemy minions. And Patches the Pirate, 1 gold hero power at the start of next combat, deal 3 damage to 2 random enemy minions. I think these are both almost equally as bad as each other. I prefer Patches to Ragnaros personally.
Yeah, Patches is very much like a early game if you go a really aggressive style, which like you said, people are starting to realize how best to actually do that. And so I feel like Patches himself is probably better because they both essentially do the same thing, but I don't know. It's like by the time Rag's hero power is going to make that big of a difference versus Patch's hero power, 8 damage no longer kills the things that you're going to be seeing, I guess. So yeah, I think equally bad, basically, except maybe Patches maybe ekes out just because if you build, I've had success, not wins, but I've had success building him out in a really, really aggressive, like Murloc type manner.
Yeah, I prefer Patches just because 1 gold is cheaper than 2, and late game I might get a Divine Shield, maybe even 2. And yeah, as it's being brought up by chat room, like, yeah, Rag has that chance to snipe the Mama Bear. Even if the Mama Bear is a triple, like if they get the gold and it's an 8/8, you could get the snipe. But like, again, there's 7 minions on board.
Very specific scenario.
Get back to
with
future
a lot
side.
Of random.
I'm like, is that what you're hoping for? Like, I'm taking Ragnaros to snipe Mama Bear. Like, boy, I hope I'm not in that situation. Like, but like, sometimes your choices are limited, so it is important to know these outs. But also, like, these are the reasons why we're putting Rag and Patches so low. A little more top down here. Like if you look at kind of how we're laying things out here, like there's a lot more value being placed on heroes where their powers get you more value over more, like a longer segment of the game. And then also in this group, ending it is going to be Trade Prince Gallywix, which this one I almost just want to leave alone because I still feel like maybe we're going to figure something out here. Because when I first saw Gallywix at BlizzCon, I was like, it seems kind of high skill cap. I feel like you could do some kind of
Yeah, he was the one
strategy.
that I played.
Yeah.
And I still think he's half decent. I've really liked using him. He's given me some really late game, super crazy swing turns sometimes, or I guess not late game, mid game, crazy swing turns sometimes. If I've got a decent board built up and I can, buy a tavern tier or something, like I don't necessarily need anything offered to me in the tavern. I can just buy a tavern tier before I'm supposed to be able to. I've had some success, but he's definitely, like you say, I think he is a high skill cap. And I think there's a lot of planning that goes into him. And if you are facing, as you said, it seems the meta is going a little bit more aggressive. If you're going to be facing a lot of aggression, you can't play a bank style strategy. So
yeah,
I think he's an it depends, but I don't know if I'd put him all the way down with Putricide, Rag, and Patches.
I really like. This is one that I am a little waffly on, but for the sake of today, I needed to find a place to put him, and right now I don't like him. I
like him.
Because I'm like, yeah, it's 1 gold for a gold that I can spend later, but 1 gold is a refresh, and I just think it's worth more right then and there. Get more information, see where your draft is going to be going. Even if you can't draft the things that turn, it sets you up for a freeze. It gives you information. All right, you ready to dump on the 2 heroes we have left?
Yeah.
All right. This is what I'm putting in just bad. That is what I'm calling this category. And there's just 2 of them. So if you're going to take our list to heart and you've got 3 options unlocked, well, at least you can't get 3 just bad options. First up, Giant Finn. 1 gold hero power at the start of your next combat. Give your minions Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Murloc. 1/1 Murlocs just kind of suck. The best case scenario is you've got a war leader on board, and that's not that great compared to all of the other shenanigans you can do from spawning 1/1s from the other tribes. Any other tribe in Battlegrounds that can spawn a 1/1 has way better synergies than Murloc 1/1s.
Well, yeah, that's what we were talking about with Murlocs when we were talking about tribes just off the top, was that the idea that, the Scavenging Hyena and the Junkbot, like when you are creating all of these tokens and you're, whether it's on the mech side or the beast side, when they die and they're going to die before your growing minion attacks, like you get that extra synergy, you get those extra buffs on your super big things that are going to win you the match. So since Murlocs don't have that, and if one of the minions that gets introduced in our next balance patch, in our next update, if Murlocs get a growing minion, which I don't think they should, but if they do, then that totally changes Giant Finn. But the way that it stands right now, because there is no growing Murloc minion, this is just meh. Terrible. Like, why? Why would you want to do this when you could do any of the other things we've already talked about?
Agreed. In late game, it's just laughably bad.
Yeah.
Like, even with a war leader. Don't pick Giant Finn. Terrible.
Giant Finn's bad right now.
And don't pick Lich Baziel. 0 gold hero power. It is activatable, though, because you take 3 damage and you add a gold coin to your hand. Health is worth a lot in Battlegrounds. And gold acceleration is cool, but taking 3 damage is not.
If you had Mal'Ganis on board, then it would just be add a gold coin to your hand. But by the time you're getting there, then your hero power and the extra gold is not worth nearly as much as it is in the early game, right? So
yes,
there isn't even a possible real strategy that takes advantage of this in a way that really matters.
Yeah, we don't have any early game synergy for losing health.
Right. And there's no healing either. So there's no there's no heal bots. Like when this dies, your hero gets more health back. Like,
yeah, I just assumed there was healing because I saw Baziel pretty early on at BlizzCon, but had a limited experience with Battlegrounds. I just assumed. I'm like, oh, what a rad hero power. If you run this with some heals, that'd be awesome. Oh, there's no heals.
Yeah. And we should say there's no heals right now. And I would say they probably won't add healing just because I feel the length of Battlegrounds is pretty good right now.
Who knows? Anyways, Giant Finn, Lich Baziel. Sorry, I never want to play you if I can help it. And I can help it because I get 3 options.
Yep.
So, yeah. This week's balance patch, we only talked Mukla, which we threw up at the top tier right next to Maleficent Mana Storm.
Maleficent, yeah.
Lord Jaraxxus, I would put Lord Jaraxxus in solid now. I think Lord Jaraxxus is right in the middle of the average pack. 2 gold hero power, give your demons +1/+1, post the balance patch that went live yesterday. And I think I'd put Infinite Toki there too. I don't think she's top tier anymore because 2 gold is... the reason I liked her so much was the efficiency of her hero power, and it is no longer efficient. But it's still good. So Toki,
I think I'd put her I would say she's slightly down from where she was, but she's still, she's really good. She's not best. She's really good, I think.
There you have it. There's our list. You can see the list in full, including some of the notes we put here, if you don't remember why we said they were good or bad. Although the really bad ones, I just threw them in here because I'm like, I know why I think these are bad. I don't need to write this down. And also, it's
they're just bad. Just trust us.
That brings us to the end of another clip from this week's episode of the Angry Chicken Podcast. Now, part 1 and part 2 of our tier list is up. That is it in its entirety. Hope you enjoyed. And please let us know in the comments below if you like these shorter clips for the YouTube channel specifically. Now, again, we're going to keep uploading the full-length episodes, and you can always catch them in the audio form wherever it is you like to go get your podcasts. But for now, we hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe the channel for more videos from us, for more Hearthstone coverage. And until next time, job's done.